Welcome to part 4 of Let's Play Kharé, Cityport of Traps by Steve Jackson. At the end of the last part, I was about to read paragraph 162. Here we go. The bow and arrows, tinderbox and snakebite antidote are simply as they seem and have no magical properties. The broadsword is difficult to use but will cause more damage if you strike an opponent with it. If you have bought the broadsword, you may use it in battle. While using it, you must deduct 1 from your attack strength dice roll, but if you inflict a wound with it, you can deduct 3 stamina points worth of damage instead of the usual 2. You may now leave the market. Turn to 83. Okay, so we only bought provisions from the market, so there's no need to write any of that down. Let's turn to 83. Here we are. Further up the road, you pass a small graveyard overhung with leafy branches. Gravestones are scattered in no particular order around an old crypt which stands in the centre. A sign above the doorway to the crypt reads, "Here rests Lord Shinva, 5th Noble of Kharé. Do you wish to enter the crypt?" Turn to 47. Or do you think it would be safer to head out of the city port? Turn to 127. Okay, we are going to enter the crypt and turn to 47. Here we are. You enter the graveyard and walk along an overgrown path up to the door of the crypt. On the ground before the door is a shimmering circle of darkness which you will have to cross or jump over to get to the doorway. Will you walk up to the door, turn to 288, jump over the circle, turn to 258, or cast a spell? Zip 466, Sus 377, Doc 442, How 395, Tell 418. Okay, we're going to cast How and turn to 395. Deduct 2 stamina points. Okay, new line I think. So that puts me down to 17 on the stamina. And let's carry on reading. You cast your spell, and as it takes effect, you can sense the areas of danger ahead. Certainly, the dark circle ahead of you is a danger, and you should avoid it. The crypt itself can also be a danger, and if you enter, you should make sure you carry a special weapon. Your safest path is to leave the crypt, but this may not be your best choice. If you wish to leave, turn to 16. If you wish to enter, turn to 249. If you wish to take something from your pack before you enter, turn to 7. Okay, we're going to enter, so we're going to turn to 249. Here we are. Now the door swings open and you jump inside. The small crypt is empty, but against the far wall is a narrow stone staircase that leads down to a lower level. Will you follow this downwards? Turn to 164, or have you had enough of this place? Turn to 16. Okay, we're going to follow this downwards and turn to 164. Here we go. You creep cautiously down the stairs. The walls are damp and there is a foul smell of decay in the air. The only sound you can hear is a drip coming from below. At the foot of the stairs, you can see that you are in a large, dark chamber, lit only by the shaft of light coming down the stairway. A coffin stands in the centre of the room and you walk closer to investigate. A creaking sound makes your heart stop. The coffin lid is moving. Spellbound, you watch it inch open, then a movement to your left catches your eye. From a dark alcove, a ghostly white figure is advancing towards you. The shock has startled you so much that you cannot collect yourself enough to cast a spell. Will you draw your weapon, turn to 99, or run back up the stairs and out of the crypt, turn to 16? Okay, we're going to draw our weapon, and therefore we're turning to 99. Are you using a sword? Turn to 151. An axe? Turn to 125. Or a bow and arrows? Turn to 147. Okay, we're using a sword, and we're turning to 151. Here we are. You draw your weapon and face the creature. As the light catches its As the light catches its face, you can see the horrible skull of a death wraith leering at you. Resolve your battle. Death Wraith, skill 9, stamina 8. When you inflict your first hit on the creature, turn to 189. Okay, so we're going to fight Death Wraith 9/8. Okay. So Death Wraith. Whoops. Death Wraith, skill 9, stamina 8. Okay, so my skill is 10. That was all I was allowed because I'm a wizard and not a warrior or whatever. Anyway, so 9 plus 9 is 18. And I think I get some... do I get some sort of... Yeah, plus 2 attack strength, and then there's... Yeah, there's a plus 1 attack strength for using a broadsword, and then plus 2 for using the armband of sword mastery. So he got 18, so I'll just write that down now, but we get effectively 10 plus 3, so 13 plus whatever the dice roll is. So 13, 13 plus 12 is 25, so I get 25 on my attack strength. That means I've inflicted the first point of damage. I forgot to move this down by... Although we won't really need to, you'll see why. Anyway, 189, because we've inflicted our first hit on the creature, so 189. Here we are. This powerful undead creature cannot be harmed by normal weapons, and it gloats at you as your deadly blow passes through it. Continue the fight. Death Wraith, skill 9, stamina 8. And the next time you roll a higher attack strength than the Death Wraith, you will not harm it, but you may fend it off enough for you to make an alternative plan. When this happens, you may test your luck. If you are lucky, turn to 38. If you are unlucky, you must continue the fight, and you may test your luck again next time you roll a higher attack strength. Okay, so let's erase that thing there. So we need to roll another... Well, we need to win another attack round. So 9 plus 6 is 15. And I get 12 plus 12, 24. So 15 to 24. Because I get the plus 3 attack strength bonus from the broadsword and the armband of sword mastery, or whatever it was. Anyways, that means we were successful. Now we're testing our luck. So our luck is currently 12. So we need this dice roll to be 12 or lower. Although, is there something else that gives us luck or something? I remember we have an item or something. We've got Lucky Talisman. Deduct 1 from dice roll when we test our luck. And if we're unlucky, then we don't lose a luck point. So effectively, we deduct 1 from the dice roll here. So I'm rolling the dice, and then I deduct 1 from it. So 5 minus 1 is 4. That's less than or equal to 12. So that means we were lucky, but because we were lucky, we still lose a luck point. So we're down to 11. We only don't lose a luck point if we were unlucky. We were lucky, so we still lose 1. Anyway, we were lucky. Let's remove any buzzing, should there be any. Anyway, so now we were lucky, so we're turning to 38. Here we are. Death Wraiths may only be harmed by silver weapons. If you have the bow with silver-tipped arrows, you may pull these out of your pack and turn to 147. If you do not have the bow and arrows, your only hope is to pray to Libra if you have not yet used her help in this adventure, which I haven't, so turn to 87. Otherwise, this will be your last fight in Kharé. Okay, so we haven't prayed to Libra yet, so we're going to pray to Libra and turn to 87. Although I will just write down that we have prayed to her. Move that. There we go. And this. It's because the text document is slightly wide or less wide than before. Anyway, we have prayed to Libra. Okay. The creature advances to attack, and you can do little about it. Suddenly, it looks over towards the shaft of light flooding in from the stairwell. Your eyes are accustomed to the blackness, and when you look over to the light, you cannot be sure what you are seeing. A radiant white female figure seems to stand, glowing in the light. She points back to the coffin. The death wraith is terrified of this figure, and it returns to the coffin as if directed by some ghostly master. Its movements are becoming very sluggish. It appears that its life force is being drained. With a last effort, it climbs inside the coffin. You glance back at the figure by the stairs. It has disappeared. Turn to 209. Okay, 209, here we come. Here we are. All is peaceful as you rest after your battle, but then a sound makes you look back towards the coffin. A figure is rising from it, but this time the figure is not that of the terrible death wraith, but of a very old man. Who is it, he asks? Who has put an end to my torment? Looking round the crypt, his eyes fall on you. Stranger, I am in debt to you, he says. For too many years I have been cursed with the living death. Now at last can my soul die in peace. How may I repay you? You tell him of your intended journey out of Kharé and across the backlands. He tells you you will never leave Kharé without the North Gate spell. He knows one line to the spell and tells it to you. One lock made out of golem's hide. Okay, so we have a spell, one lock made out of golem's hide. Let's write that down. There we go, okay. I'll write it after this one. So, one lock made out of golem's hide. So, one lock made out of golem's hide. There we go. And then new line. Okay, so that's that done. Okay, so let's carry on. When you tell him more of your quest, he wishes you luck. I cannot be of more help, he says, except for one couplet which I can remember from the ancient days. I have a feeling it may be useful to you. It goes, for sleeping of the sleepless ram, seek out the one they call the sham. I am not certain what the sleepless ram is, but bear this advice in mind. You thank him for his help and leave the crypt, gain 2 luck points and turn to 16. Okay. Okay, let's write that down. For sleeping of the sleepless ram, seek out the one they call the sham. Okay, let's add the 2 luck points. That puts us back up to 12. That's good. Let's put another thing here. So, I can't remember what it was now. For sleeping of the sleepless ram. So, for sleeping of the sleepless ram, seek out the one they call the sham. Seek out the one they call the sham. That's capitalised, isn't it? The sham. There we go. Okay, so that's good. So we have that, and we've put the luck points in. Now we're turning to 16. Let's go. You leave the crypt, carefully avoiding the shimmering circle by the door, and head off down the road out of Kharé. Turn to 127. Here we are. A little further up the road, you come to a well. A rope hangs down from a pulley deep into the well. You walk up to it, and as you approach, you can hear a woman's voice singing. It seems to be coming from the well itself and to be directed at you. My dear, your fortune can be told if you will cross my palm with gold. Do you wish to toss a gold piece into the well? If so, turn to 217. If you'd rather not bother, continue by turning to 319. We're not going to bother, so we are turning to 319. You are now leaving the centre of the city. The street turns into a dirt track which winds from Kharé past a small settlement of huts and out past a tall building. In the distance, you can see the Great Wall of Kharé and the North Gate. At a tree stump along the way, you may stop and eat provisions. If you do so, add 2 stamina points if this is your first meal of the day, 1 stamina point if you have already eaten. Okay, we are going to eat here, so we're going to add 2 stamina points. So down to 4 provisions, and that puts me up to 19 stamina. There we go. Okay, just outside the group of huts, you come across a blind beggar who asks you for alms. Will you give him a gold piece, turn to 285, or will you press on towards the gate, turn to 148? Okay, we're going to give him a gold piece, turn to 285. Okay, so we've lost a gold piece, or not lost it, but we've given one away. So that puts me down to 47. And then new line. There we go. Okay, you toss him a coin and he thanks you for your kindness. You sit down for a moment to talk to him. Suddenly you are both alarmed by a screeching noise in the sky above you. No, he cries, not those god-cursed harpies. Will they never cease their torments? You look into the air and see 2 winged beasts hovering over you. They are ugly, dark-skinned creatures with sharp talons on the ends of their arms and legs. You both spring to your feet. You are not quite sure what to do, but the beggar grabs his stick and flails it about blindly in the air. They are after my gold, he shouts to you. Have they no pity on a blind man? Oh, stranger, can you see the evil rascals? Can you help me? One of the harpies darts down from the sky and clips him on the head, knocking him over. Will you decide to help the old man, turn to 97, or do you prefer not to get into this fight and run off down the road, turn to 148? Okay, there's the picture. Very menacing. Okay, we are going to help the old man and turn to 97. Here we are. Will you use your magic, turn to 310, or will you fight the winged beast, turn to 118? Okay, we're going to use our magic and turn to 310. Here we are. Which spell will you use? Dim, 473, Pep, 480, Mag, 433, Gob, 365, Wok, 389. If you know none of these, you will have to use your weapon, turn to 118. Okay, we're going to cast Wok and turn to 389. Deduct 1 stamina point. Do you have a gold piece with you? If not, this spell will not work. Return to 310 and choose your next move. If you have a gold piece, you may place this on your wrist and cast your spell on it. Okay, so we lose a gold piece and a stamina point. So that puts me down to 18. And I lose another gold piece. That puts me down to 46. Okay. An invisible shield attached to your arm will form, and this will be a useful defense in your fight. Turn to 118 and fight the creatures, but this shield will protect you by allowing you to deduct 2 points from the attack strength of any creature attacking you. After the battle, the shield and your gold piece will disappear. Okay, so 118, so we deduct 2 points from the attack strength of any creature attacking us. So 118. You draw your weapon and chop at the harpies as they fly down to attack. The beggar will be helping you with his stick, but he will be of little use since he is blind. Resolve this fight. First Harpy, skill 7, stamina 6. Second Harpy, skill 6, stamina 6. Blind Beggar, skill 2, stamina 8. You may choose who fights whom during the battle, so long as everyone fights someone each round. If you kill the Harpies, turn to 74. Okay, so it is very important that we not let the blind beggar, die here. So, okay, so I'm going to fight the stronger Harpy, the one with 7 skill. He's going to fight the one with 2. Yeah, so I could change it from round to round, but I won't. I'll just fight the stronger one. Anyway, so I'm going to fight the stronger one. So that's first Harpy's 7-6. So first Harpy, that is 7-6. And the second Harpy was 6-6. Okay, so I can deduct 2 from the dice roll of the enemies attacking us. Now, it doesn't state that, you know, if I kill the first Harpy, then presumably I can take over, and then I won't have to use the blind beggar. But otherwise, I have to get the blind beggar to fight the other one. Anyway, so my skill is 10. Really, it's 13 because of the attack strength malarkey additions that I have. His skill is 2. So let's resolve this. So it's going to be 7 plus 8, which is 15. And I get 22. So 15 to 22. But I deduct 2 from his attack strength. So it's really 13 to 22. So 13 to 22. That puts him down to... Whoops, I'm doing the wrong one here, sorry. So 13 to 22. That puts him down to 4. But now I have to do the one for him. So... Now, the shield is only for me, not for the blind beggar, so I can't really deduct 2 from this one. So this is going to be 6 plus 7, which is 13. And he gets 2 plus 7, which is 9. So 13 to 9. Now, I better just note blind beggar. So blind beggar. He was at 2. And sorry, not 2. He was at 8, sorry. And now he's at 6 because he's been hurt. I better just put his... Yeah, blind beggar skill. Blimey, this is complicated. Alright, okay, whoops, skill. There we go. Done it again. 2, there we are. Okay, and that's blind beggar stamina. Okay, right. Right, that's the first attack round for each of us done. Okay, now I'm doing me again. So this is going to be 7. Really, it's 5 because it deducts 2 from his attack strength. My my magic shield. So 5 plus 12 is 17. I get 19. So 17 to 19. Because I get 10 plus 3. So really, it should be 16. But I have add 3 because of the broadsword and the armband of sword master, whatever it was. That puts it down to 2. Okay, now we're battling for the blind beggar. So that's the other one is 6. So 6 plus 3 is 9, and he gets 2 plus 3, which is 5. So 9 to 5. That puts it down, Blind Beggar stamina down to 4. I'll just put Blind Beggar attack for this, actually. There we go, Blind Beggar attack. Okay, so he's down to 4 now, so I might have to use luck on this one, although, can I use luck for a Blind Beggar? I don't know, it doesn't say I can't, but... yeah. Anyway, so... yeah, so now it's me again, so 5 plus 8 is 13, I get 25, so 13 to 25. That's killed the first harpy, but now we have to fight for the Blind Beggar again. It's not very clear, the instructions for this. I mean, I'm assuming I can just take over after the first harpy is dead. 6 plus 11, great, is 17. He gets 10, so 17 to 10. That means the Blind Beggar is now down to 2, but now I'm taking over. So, because the first one's dead, so it's now going to be 6 plus... although... I mean, it states you may choose who fights whom, but as long as everyone fights someone each round. But now the first harp is dead, and obviously the Blind Beggar can't fight anyone now because I've taken over. So it's not really that clear. I'm a little bit confused here, but I'm going to take over anyway because it doesn't say I can't. So the Blind Beggar isn't fighting anymore. So 6 plus 9 is 15, although really it's going to be 4 plus 9, which is 13, because I'm using my shield now. So 13, and I get 17. So 13 to 17. So 17, and that means that puts him down to 4. Okay, 4 plus 7 is 11. I get 24, so 11 to 24. Now, I didn't need to use luck after all. That puts it down to 2. And then, hopefully, finally, 4 plus 6 is 10. I get 19. So 10 to 19, that gets rid of the second harpy. So 10 to 19. And that's the end of the second harpy, and the Blind Beggar is still alive. So that's that. Good. That was one of the most complicated battles in these books. I think it's very difficult. It's not a difficult battle. It's just sort of complicated to keep track of, if you know what I mean. Anyway, if you kill the harpies, turn to 74. So I did kill them, so turning to 74. Is the beggar still alive? If so, turn to 207. If he is not, you can continue on your journey after a short rest. Turn to 148. Okay, the beggar is still alive, so we're turning to 207 because he has 2 stamina left, which is good. Okay, here we go. Stranger, I cannot thank you enough, says the beggar. Ever since I was cursed with my sightless eyes, I have been tormented by those wicked demons. You talk to him a little longer while you both recover your breath. My story is a sad one, of fortune to poverty, he tells you. 3 years ago, I was the 7th noble of Kharé until the black-eyed curse befell me. You stop him mid-sentence and ask whether he knows anything of the North Gate spell. Aye, that I do, he continues, for I was entrusted with one of its lines. If your plan is to leave the Cityport that way, perhaps this will help you. My memory is fading, but I believe the line was... By Kharé's grace, and he hesitates, and someone's pride. Damn, whose pride was it? One of the gods. By Kharé's grace and someone's pride. I'm sorry, stranger, my memory fails me. I cannot remember which of the gods it was. Perhaps you will find out in Kharé's temple, a little further down the road. There you may talk with the god of grace, but if you do, you risk your life. I can give you one clue. The left eye leads the way. More than that, I cannot tell. You thank him and prepare to leave. Before you go, he says, if you are heading out into the backlands, perhaps this will help. It has been my prized possession for many years, but now I feel I will never use it. I will never leave Kharé, and it will undoubtedly help you on your journey. He gives you a ring of silver, fashioned as a serpent which coils round your finger. He believes it is a talisman which will protect you from serpents. To find out its real power, turn to reference 130 in the next adventure. This ring is undoubtedly a valuable item. You thank him and collect your belongings, setting off down the road. Turn to 148. Okay, so spell line is by Kharé's grace and someone's pride. So let's write that down. So no, I didn't want to do that. Here we are, right. By Kharé's grace and someone's pride. There we go. That's all the other bit of the other line of the spell or whatever it is. We also have we also need to write down the left eye leads the way. And we also have a serpent ring. So we have silver serpent ring. Turn to paragraph 130 when we start book 3. Okay, good. I forgot the parenthesis there. There we go. Okay, so that's that all done. So now we're turning to 148. Here we go. Okay, last paragraph and I'm ending the video. You follow the road towards the north gate. You are now leaving Kharé proper and you can see the great wall stretching across your path in the distance. One building remains between you and the gate, and this looks to be a place of some magnificence. You continue and find that it is a large temple standing off the road. It is indeed a sight to behold. Totems of the ancient gods line the short path to the temple doors. The building itself is pyramidal, reaching high into the sky. Friezes of gargoyles and sculptures in polished metal, ring the temple at each level. Around the doorway, rock-sculptured images of unimaginable creatures seem to guard the entrance. Do you wish to enter the shrine of Kharé, turn to 73, or will you ignore it and continue to the north gate, turn to 109? Okay, we're going to enter the shrine of Kharé and turn to 73. Okay, that's that, and that's where we're going to end the video. So let's write that down as my next paragraph. So 73 unread. Yeah, so thanks for watching. We should be able to finish the book in the next video, and then we can make a start to book 3, where we can find out about that serpent ring. Can't wait. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed part 4 of this series, Kharé Cityport of Traps, and hope you can join me for the 5th part, which should be the final part, and then we can move on to the 3rd book. So thanks again for watching, and goodbye.